We all work to live, but we feel most alive at work when we're doing something that feels valuable. Let's talk about the specific ways that AI drives value in our work. So one example of a positive is that it drives value in our work because for many people, we have not had access to things like digital assistants. So there's people in your organization, executives, leaders, who've had access to other people who've helped them, who might do work for them. Think of your own scenarios and experience. Sometime you might ask someone who's really good at creating PowerPoint presentations, can you create a PowerPoint presentation for me for this? And the difference is some people in the organization are valuable enough, they're paid higher, et cetera, that they're often given other people around them to help them perform better in these different ways. And I think a digital assistant is a great example of that mechanism, right? And so what we're really saying is that when you take a really simple example like this, where I'm using Copilot from Microsoft 365 to generate a proposal document based on some notes, based on, a roadmap, and then I'm refining that based on the look and feel of something else, what I'm really doing is I'm giving more people access to capabilities like what a digital assistant, a capable digital assistant could do with Microsoft technology, and I'm making that accessible at an extremely low cost. And this is a big change, and it is disruptive for many organizations. And I think this is the right way to think about it. Using the term digital assistant is the right general moniker when we think of generalized AI like Copilot. That's what it's doing for people. Now, sometimes, and we've all been there, it feels like it's a toddler digital assistant, and sometimes it feels like, it's a grade level digital assistant, and then sometimes it feels like it's a high school student, whatever. So there's a gap there that needs to be addressed, but there's definitely value that it drives even now, and that's why so many people are adopting it. And that value will only improve over time. So that's an important, and it is a change. It's a change in how we work. The second thing about value is how it affects collaboration. And there's this formula we used to say 1 + 1 = 3. So if you have an hour and I have an hour, and we put our heads together and work on something for 2 hours, typically, on average, that's a better outcome than if you had 2 hours or I had 2 hours. Why? Because you bring your knowledge and experience and skills, I bring my knowledge and experience and skills, we put them together and we get a better outcome. But collaboration has costs, right? The more people you add to it, the less of their skills and knowledge they can bring to the table. It's disruptive, it breaks flow, there's all sorts of reasons it's problematic. And so we don't use collaboration on everything. And in fact, the biggest problems with collaboration today, too many meetings aren't effective. These are things that are often symptoms of the issue of using collaboration when sometimes we feel like it might have been better to do that with less people or more focused or more individually. And so this is something that AI can help with because it doesn't just act as a digital assistant and give us that potential, but it also can act as an active contributor in that collaboration flow. As an example, one individual in this meeting could be generating suggestions, and then 2 other individuals could be taking those suggestions that are generated and prioritizing them. A 4th individual could then take those and start to rationalize the action plans and details for the ones that we're prioritizing higher. And so many people can work in a much more collaboratively effective way because everyone can actively participate and each of those people can use AI in the flow of what I've just described. What's more is during the meeting, before, after, and during, there's actually an AI agent often that you can invite to the meeting itself, and you can mention it and you can say things like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you summarize the action items for everyone? And then we can look at those action items together. Can you visualize what we just described in a whiteboard so we can start to talk about it in that way, and so on and so forth. So they're called team copilots in Microsoft terms. There's team copilots, and then there's individual usage of Copilot. And each of those things changes the way collaboration value is attained and derived. And so instead of thinking of it as 1 + 1 = 3, what we're really saying now is AI means that one person times their usage of AI, their skills, their knowledge, AI skills and knowledge that they have access to and figured out the right way to adopt and use, plus the other person's unique use cases and patterns for that, as well as all of that with an AI team member, team Copilot experience, all of that leads to this exponential curve of value on collaboration. And this problem of, and we've all been there, where meetings suck, is something that might actually be, if not solved, significantly changed in the coming months and years. And the reason for that is because when we see customers at scale who adopted these technologies, we see the number of low-value, transactional-based collaboration decreasing, and we see high-value, active, high participatory interactions and meetings increase. And this makes total sense. Like, think about it. If you are, instead of going to a person all the time to ask, hey, can you help me find this SharePoint document? Or, hey, can you help me build this PowerPoint presentation or make it better? Instead, you're asking Copilot to help you for that. That means less disruption to those other people. And it means when you do come to those other people, the nature of the dialogue is different. It's more value. It's more additive. It's more higher quality stuff that you're talking about. And then, of course, we've already described, in those interactions, why that leads to higher outcomes and better collaboration. And so, again, these are just two examples so far, but you can start to see how the work we do that's valuable feels more valuable.